April is Alcohol Awareness Month, and experts are saying that stress caused too many people to drink too much during the pandemic. The American Psychological Association found that 1 in 4 adults reported drinking more this past year to manage their stress. But when does it become too much? To talk us through some of this, we have licensed family therapist Kevin Petersen joining us. Good morning, Kevin. Good to see you.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you too.
How do you know, or what kind of questions do you start asking yourself or for someone that you love to really figure out if there's a problem going on?
Well, there's generally 3 categories we tend to look for. And the first one is once you start drinking, can you stop or control the amount you're drinking? We always tell people it's not the 10th drink it's the problem, it's really the first one. Then it's, despite any consequences you're having, are you always coming up with a way where you can justify it like, this time it's going to be different, or I'm not going to hang out with these guys, or I'm going to change brands. And then the last thing we look for is the refusal to ask for help despite any sort of consequences.
So if you do think that maybe this is something that you need to either learn more about or figure out resources, who do you turn to for that?
Well, it's interesting. In 2020, there was a study from the Stanford School of Psychiatry that actually said AA is the most effective method for abstinence. And the best part is it's free. But there are alternative programs like Smart Recovery, and there's faith-based programs. And then I would also always consider some therapy and consider some what we call an intensive outpatient program around substance abuse.
Kevin, you were just talking about how sometimes there can be that resistance, right, to help or acknowledging if there is a problem. So how do you start that conversation with someone you love in a way that's going to actually be effective?
Well, I tell you, the most effective way I think is just to tell them you love them and that you're concerned about them and you want to help them get help, which is actually what my family did with me in 1991. My dad sat me down and said, I love you. You're my only son, but I'm really concerned about what's going on in your life and I want to help you. And that actually saved my life.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And from your professional experience, from your personal experience, what would you say is most effective for lasting recovery?
Well, for me, it's been the 12-step recovery world, but I also think therapy is significant. And there are other programs. There's 2 great websites you can look at. One's from the government. It's samhsa.gov. And the other one is naatp.org. Then they both offer lots of free resources for people that are struggling or questioning or wondering about a friend, that type of thing.
Well, thank you so much for Kevin. This is life-changing information for people. So always, as always, appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure. Have a great day.
You too.